You've probably heard that stress is bad for your heart. But did you know that your thoughts, your beliefs about aging, stress, and your own health can actually change how your heart functions? Science now shows that optimism, mindfulness, and even purpose in life directly influence your heart's resilience. So if you think you're getting older means automatic heart decline, think again. Today we're diving into the mind-heart connection, how your mindset shapes your cardiovascular health, and what you can do to train your mind just like you train your body. That's today on the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast.
Welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast
with Garrett Williamson.
Health, wellness, exercise, nutrition, and a whole lot more. Got questions? Call us and leave a message at 251-278-EDGE or message us at Personal Edge Fitness on Facebook and Instagram, at Team PE on Twitter, or personaledgefitness.com.
Welcome back to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast, where we are dispelling the myths of health, fitness, and wellness. I'm your host, Garrett Williamson, president of Personal Edge Fitness. And if you have any questions about today's episode, you can reach us at area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. You can email me, Garrett, and that's spelled just like Levi Garrett, Garrett. Email me at garrett@personaledgefitness.com. Visit our website at personaledgefitness.com or connect with us on Facebook, Personal Edge Fitness, or X at Team PE. And as always, if you like this, please, we ask you to follow us and also share our Facebook page and also our YouTube channel. So we'd like to reach out to some others. Now let's jump in. Today we're flipping the script on heart health. Most people think that heart health is all about diet and exercise. And don't get me wrong, those are extremely crucial. But science now tells us that your mindset, your outlook on life, has just as much of an impact on your heart as what you eat and how often you train. Let's talk about how your heart listens to your thoughts. This is called the stress response, or how chronic stress damages the heart. Now let's start with the obvious stress. We all know that stress is bad for you, but did you know that chronic stress actually changes the structure of your heart? Here's how it works. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline, hormones that prepare you for danger. Remember what stress is. Stress is the fight or flight response. And so these things are released when you're having to make a decision of fight or flight. Now, this is fun if you're running from a bear. I'm not sure how recently you've done that, but if you're just stuck in traffic, arguing online, or worrying about your 401k, that constant stress response keeps your heart rate elevated, tightens your blood vessels, and spikes your blood pressure. Long term, that leads to inflammation. It leads to arterial damage and higher heart disease risk. A major study from the Framingham Heart Study found that people with high levels of perceived stress were 48% more likely to develop heart disease, even if they had healthy diets and they exercise regularly. So it's not just what happens to you, it's how you process stress that impacts your heart. Imagine your heart is like the suspension system on your car. If you're constantly slamming on the brakes, start and stop, your shocks will wear out faster. That's what chronic stress does to your heart. But if you smooth out the ride through relaxation, breathing techniques, and reframing stress, you reduce the wear and tear. Now let's talk about optimism. Science shows that people with a positive mindset actually have healthier hearts. Now, as I'm writing my book, which should be out in the first quarter of 26, you wouldn't believe the studies I've come across on mindset and aging. That's why I say that 60% of your battle is mindset. For instance, a Harvard medical study found that people who were more optimistic had a 35% lower risk of cardiovascular events like heart attacks and strokes. And that was over a 10-year period. Why? Well, optimism lowers stress hormones like cortisol. It encourages healthier behaviors. People who believe they can improve their health are more likely to exercise, eat well, and take care of themselves. it literally changes your heart function. Studies show that people who feel hopeful have better heart rate variability. We abbreviate that HRV, which is a key marker of heart adaptability. Here's a fun fact. You ever notice how some people seem to just bounce back after setbacks? That's because they've trained their mindset. Their hearts are actually more resilient. They recover faster after stressful events, just like a well-conditioned athlete after a tough workout. It's the same. And I've talked about this before, the placebo and nocebo effect, or how your thoughts actually shape your heart. Let's get wild. Did you know what your belief in your heart health is actually influences how your heart functions? Now, I talked about this in a previous episode, but there's something called the placebo effect. Many people are familiar with this. This is where people who think they're receiving medical treatment just think they are. They're actually getting better, even though they may be given a fake pill or procedure. In one famous study published in the American Journal of Cardiology, researchers performed a fake heart procedure on patients with chest pains. Guess what? Their symptoms improved, just because they believed the procedure was real. Now, here's the scary part, though. It's called the nocebo effect. This is the one I wish we would talk about more, because it's the one that's happening across the board. It's the one which is the whole reason for me feeling the need to write this book on the lie of aging. Because the nocebo effect is the opposite of the placebo effect. People who believe they are in poor health are far more likely to develop heart disease, even if there's no physical reason for it. And the reason I relate that is that most people believe that as time passes on a calendar, they're going to deteriorate. They're in the middle of the nocebo effect. The moral of the story, your beliefs about your health can literally change your biology. So if stress is bad for you and bad for your heart, what's the solution? One of the simplest, often ignored and discounted, but is the most effective ways to improve heart health is meditation and mindfulness. Now, there's many ways to meditate. Most people think about chanting or sitting in a lotus position or something. Hey, prayer is a form of meditation. Slow talking to yourself, positive affirmation, that's a form of meditation. A study in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that people who meditated daily for 8 weeks had a 15% reduction in blood pressure, they had lower resting heart rates, and they had better blood vessel function. Meditation isn't just this woo-woo, weird thing. It literally rewires your nervous system to be less reactive to stress. Think of meditation like a cool down after a workout. If you just stop exercising and sit down, your body is still revved up. Meditation helps your heart cool down from its daily life stressors, preventing long-term damage. The biggest takeaway here, your heart is not just a pump. It's an organ. It's actually a muscle that responds to your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Here's some practical tips. First and foremost, and I'm going to repeat this in several podcasts, reframe aging. Instead of believing that you're going to fail, believe that you can improve and your body will follow. Think about it. In most cases, who's better at the guitar? Somebody that picked it up yesterday or somebody that's been spending years doing it? Well, your body's a machine. The longer you have it, the better you are with it. Use gratitude. Research shows that gratitude lowers blood pressure and increases HRV. Practice deep breathing. Slowing the heart rate, it activates recovery. And one of the biggest, stay socially connected. Strong relationships literally protect heart. Your mind is the most powerful tool. It's the most powerful tool in the body. It can make you leap tall buildings. It can kill you. Your thoughts shape your health. So start training your mindset just like you do when you train your body. And back to the ridiculous comment I was making a minute ago about the guitar. It's amazing. We think the more time you are with the machine, the better you are with that machine. Well, the most amazing machine ever developed in the world is the human body. We've been studying it since the 1500s. We still don't know everything about it. It is the only machine that can repair itself. So to ignorantly think that as time passes on a calendar, the longer you have this body that can repair itself, that we know the tools to prevent damage to it, we know the tools to strengthen it. And the more of those tools that you know, the more you learn across time, the more time you spend studying that, the more time you spend exercising, looking at your lifestyle, handling stress, dealing with stress, learning how to deal with stress the right way. The better you learn how to feed it, the better it's going to be. Not that it's just going to automatically deteriorate tomorrow. And as I've shown in this podcast, just worrying about that speeds that process. Aging isn't, or declining because of time passing on a calendar, as I say, is not. It has never been. It's not inevitable. It's not automatically inevitable. You can change it. You can control it. And it starts at genetic level, goes to the genetic level. And as we talked about today, it affects the heart directly. Your heart believes what you tell it. Make sure you're telling it something good. And this is just one more way Personal Edge Fitness helps you reach your level of wellness. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope to see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast with Garrett Williamson. Subscribe now and be a part of the show by calling 251-278-EDGE or message us on Facebook and Instagram at Personal Edge Fitness or at Team PE on Twitter, and visit us at personaledgefitness.com.